Welcome back to the Career Pivot Playbook, Navigating Career Change with Confidence. I'm Shruti, founder of Delegate Workflows, and today we are diving into charting the course, overcoming fear and building confidence. With us again is Smita, an executive coach and personal empowerment life coach who empowers people to work because they want to and not because they have to. Welcome back, Smita.
Thank you, Shruti, and it's always great to be here with you. Today's topic is especially important because fear and self doubt are common barriers, and these are the factors that are most into play from stopping individuals to making a successful career pivot.
Absolutely. Let's start by addressing some common fears and anxieties related to career change. What are some of these fears you have encountered in your clients?
Okay, so every client is different, Shruti. At the same time, having worked with more than 300 plus individuals across 10 countries, there are certain common factors that I have seen. And from a personal side, I can also vouch that these are some of the things that I myself faced. First is fear of the unknown. So many people fear the uncertainty that comes with a career change. It's a new industry, it's a new journey you have taken. You don't know what to encounter. And when we don't know what something looks like, the challenges, the difficulties, the obstacles become much bigger in our head than they actually are. So I've seen people worry about whether they will succeed in their new role or if they will find job satisfaction without even taking the time out to fully find out what the future looks like. So, fear of the unknown. Second, fear of failure. The possibility of not succeeding in a new career, especially when you are coming off a successful career, can indeed be paralyzing. And this is something that I can vouch for. So, having come from SRCC, IIM, having a successful corporate career, when I gave that up to become a coach, many told me, "What are you doing? You are doing so well." Many told me, "What use is the IIM degree if you are not putting it into a long term career growth?" So there are self doubts, and then you hear voices around you. This further makes the stakes too high. It is as if, okay, you can't afford to fail. What will others say? And this fear often stops people from even attempting a pivot. That is why it took me years after I made that decision, when ideally, when I look back, I should have made it even sooner. So I am happy that at least I tried and I reached where I am. But unfortunately, many give up without even trying. And that's what makes me sad. Third, the financial concerns. So, career changes can sometimes involve a temporary loss of income. So, in the initial 2 3 months after my career pivot, you are only investing to grow your business. There are no clients. So, the cash flow turns negative. And it took quite a mindset change for me to adjust to a fact, hey, every month on the 30th or 31st, I don't have a fixed sum of amount that will hit my bank account. So you need to build that mindset, and you also need to build that financial backup to offset that temporary loss of income, and also to invest in new education or training, which can be daunting. Last but not the least, self doubt. Doubting one's own abilities and fearing that they won't measure up in your new field is a very, very common concern. So, these are the four kinds of challenges I would say that I've seen most of my clients face.
Those are significant fears. So, when you said about the financial concerns, it's actually true. That's why people really stop about thinking about the pivoting, and they actually continue with the same thing itself. Like they work 9 to 5, no matter what. So, this tip actually will help. Like you have to back up an income to manage that field, and then you have to start.
Absolutely. If that means deferring your dream for some time, so be it. But it's important to acknowledge that fear and take steps instead of giving up because of that fear.
Yes. Smita, how did you personally deal with these anxieties when you decided to pivot to a coaching and entrepreneur?
Oh, you have taken me many years, not many years, but yeah, some years back, Shruti. As I mentioned while answering your last question, I faced many of these fears myself. The fear of the unknown was particularly strong. I just knew what coaching was, but I didn't knew what did it entail. And I certainly never envisaged that when I wanted to become a coach, I will also end up becoming an entrepreneur. But the first thing, okay, even before I researched on what does coaching entail and how will I make my mark in that, I made sure that I had enough cushion to address my financial concerns. See, I was a wife, I was a mother. I know in Indian society it is like, okay, if husbands and wives both works, then wife's income is secondary and husband is anyway there to take care of the financial matters. But in our home it was never like that. Both of us have always been equals. The expenses for the home, there are certain expenses only he bears, there are certain expenses which only I bear. So there are financial commitments, and I was very clear in my mind that even after I leave my full time job, I want to bear these expenses. I don't, and certainly for my own personal expenses, I didn't want to reach out to my husband and request for money. Uh, there is nothing wrong in that, but I personally was not like that. I'm still not like that. So it was very important for me that I first address my financial concern by saving up and ensuring I had a safety net. So I made sure my money was invested in a way that it was making more money without me actually spending my time. So it was when I was absolutely sure that, okay, even if I don't earn a single dime of money from my new vocation, I will still have enough to meet my own expenses, to contribute to the household expenses that I contribute to, and also to maintain my lifestyle. That I took this step. And once I decided to take this step, I did a thorough research, created a detailed plan for my new career. So, of course, it's not that whatever I made on the first day, the plan stayed like the same till the last day, and there is no last day for that matter. But I researched, I made sure, okay, which are the certifications I want to do, where I wanted to do it from. This is my first step. What is my next step? What is the target by which I want to complete? Because when you are your own boss, one thing that happens, if you don't set deadlines, then you procrastinate. And you left your old job because you wanted to pivot, but all you are doing is procrastinating and resting and not working in your dream, and that is even more sadder than working in a job you don't like. So I made sure I had a detailed plan, and I was disciplined enough to adhere to that plan. um, Self doubt was something that was harder to overcome, and I had a lot of self doubts. Despite people said, some people said after I made after I was recognized as a success, people did tell me, oh, you were bound to be successful, you were from IIM, you had a stellar corporate background, and you are always a go-getter. But success, what people see is only the success stories. Success is built upon a lot of failures in the background. And when failures happen, when setbacks happen, self doubts do surface. So self doubt was harder to overcome. There was many a time in the initial first year I contemplated, what am I doing? Let me give it up and let me go back to a corporate career. But I reminded myself of my past successes. So if I could do it once, I told myself there was no reason I could not do it again, especially after having these many years of experiences under my belt. And also the transferable skills I possessed. I reminded myself time and again, hey, these are the skills that I possess. And while I may not be the best in the world at that, I'm reasonably decent to make my second career, or rather my career transition, a success journey. And here I am talking about it with you today.
Smita, that's actually very relatable to my journey also. For me, starting my business came with a lot of self doubt and financial concerns. And I also am so similar to what you said. Like you said, you didn't want to put burden on your husband, right? So I'm also like I agree with that thought a lot, because when I started my journey, like I shifted from a full-time job to the business. So what I did was, like, I had a savings to invest in my business already, because when I was working as a executive virtual assistant in a firm, I had a savings for this, because I didn't want to ask for an investment for a business to my husband. So I had a lump amount of saving for doing this investment already.
Oh, that's great to know, Shruti. And first, I always know that you are well prepared, and that reflects on how you planned your career transition. Second, it again strikes me that while coming from different parts of India and having different journeys, and of course, despite the age difference that we have, we are also somewhere more alike than different. Do you agree with me there?
Yes, Smith, I have also I also agree with that. I have also felt the same.
Great.
So I have also managed these fears by starting small and gradually building up my business step by steps. This have helped me gain confidence over time.
That is an absolute, and to all our viewers watching, this is something as a coach that I also propagate. See, when you look at the final outcome, it will always seem overwhelming. So, for example, 3.5 years ago, when I started my writing career parallelly with my new coaching career, if I would have thought that I will have 4 books in 3 years, it would have seemed very daunting, and I would have given up even before I started. Instead, I was like, okay, first month, I will write 3 stories. So, this is how you go, taking it step by step. And Shruti here has absolutely given a brilliant tip for others to follow. So, well done, Shruti.
Thank you, Smita. Smita, can you share some strategies for overcoming these fears?
Okay, so what may work for one may not work for another. But again, going back to my experience of working with 300 people across 10 countries one on one as a coach, I would say the first thing that will help here is education and preparation. See, knowledge is a powerful tool against fear. The more you know about your new field and what it takes to succeed, the less intimidating it becomes. So build up that knowledge. And of course, in today's world, there are YouTube videos, there are Instagram reels, there are shorts, and what other short form content out there. But there is no substitute for a proper book, for a proper training, for a proper educator or a coach that you choose to work with. So do yourself a favor, invest in some genuine sources of knowledge rather than only depending on these free videos that are out there. They may just only confuse you. Second, as Shruti mentioned very beautifully a few minutes ago, taking small steps. Break down your transition into smaller, manageable steps. This makes the process less overwhelming and allows you to build confidence gradually. So, again, going back to my coaching pivot, when I started, the first month the target I took, okay, I will coach one person. And when I was into my third month, it was like, okay, by the in the next month or so, I should have coached 5 people cumulatively in the year. I definitely didn't set out that, okay, after 3 years I should have 1700 plus client coaching hours that I have now. Otherwise that would have made it very daunting for me. So start small, just go one step at a time, and you will not even realize that you are leaving many milestones behind you. Third, support system. Surround yourself with supportive friends, family, and mentors. Work with partners, for example, and Shruti, this relates directly to the services that you provide to me. So after about 2 years on working on my coaching business alone, it was growing. I had a lot of clients, and I also saw that number one, I had less time now than I had earlier, and my business will not grow if I focus on doing whole thing myself. And that is when I decided to go for virtual assistant, and I worked with someone else, and then eventually, I have the good fortune of working with Shruti. Of course, the services they provide, they save your time, they help you focus on your core work. But I would say, having a partner with whom you can brainstorm, hey, this is what is happening in my business, or this is a setback that I received. Having someone to talk to, their encouragement can make a huge difference. And here, Shruti, I don't think I have ever shared this part with you. But apart from, of course, all the services that you provide to me, and you do an excellent job, I must say there. But what also makes a difference to me is having someone that I can discuss the or some at least some elements of my business, and that makes me realize that while I may be a solopreneur, but I am not alone. So thank you for that support, Shruti.
Thank you, Smita. Thank you.
And yeah, last but not the least, if you are really anxious and all, there are some mindfulness and stress management techniques. So practice these out. Regular physical exercise will also help you manage that anxiety and maintain a positive mindset. And if anxiety gets too much to handle, work with a coach, an expert coach who will help you to maintain that positive outlook.
Those are practical strategies. How about building and maintaining a positive mindset and self-confidence? And why is this so important in a career pivot?
Oh, that's a very pertinent question, Shruti. While I touched upon it the last time, but I would say this is the single most important factor that, how do I put it? That this factor is the line between those who stick it out in their career pivots and those who give it up too soon. It is a positive mindset that helps you stay motivated and resilient in the face of challenges. And let me tell you, I have witnessed it personally. There will be a lot of challenges and setbacks. That's how life is. You have to take ups with the downs. It is a positive mindset that will enable you to see opportunities rather than obstacles. Confidence in your abilities is crucial for taking bold steps in a new career, and confidence is a muscle. You can't say, hey, I'm low on confidence today. That means I will be low on confidence throughout my life. No, you can enhance that confidence. Confidence helps you to present yourself well and take on new challenges without hesitation. So, for those who are looking to pivot, embrace a growth mindset. A growth mindset is nothing but the belief that abilities can be developed through hard work and dedication. I am an example of that. I personally believe I am successful, or I have reached where I have more because of my dedication and discipline rather than talent. It's not that I don't have talent, but I think dedication and discipline and hard work have more weightage in contributing to my success. And this mindset helps you view failures as learning opportunities rather than setbacks.
That's very insightful, Smita. And talking about gaining confidence, I think you have to come up out of your comfort zone to gain much confidence. Because, like, I can give you a small example that doing a live or facing a camera and talking is not at all thing which is suitable for me. That's what was my impression about me. But now I have come out of that comfort zone, thinking that I will be able to grow.
I know that. Don't I know that, Shruti? When we first discussed our LinkedIn Live, the first LinkedIn Live, I'm not talking about this episodics. I remember your initial hesitation and fear. But I must commend you. Yes, you indeed have come out of your comfort zone. And now you are enjoying yourself in these conversations with me, aren't you?
Yes, Smita, and great credit goes to you for that.
My pleasure, Shruti.
And Smita, how did you build your self-confidence during your career transition?
Oh, I had a lot of self doubts that I mentioned to you before. So, getting that self confidence was a gradual process for me. So, I started first by having a plan, and that is my way of generating confidence. If I go straight away headlong into something, I will always be less confident. So, I started by having a plan, and in that plan, I set small, achievable goals for myself. So, for example, instead of coming out with a book at the end of the first year, my plan was that, okay, I should be writing every day. That was the first concrete step I started with. And then with each small milestones that I started to achieve, I also celebrated my successes. For example, once I had my first paid coaching client, I announced it to all in my like older network, so that first I felt good about myself, and second, their encouragement and support also made me feel better about myself. So no matter how minor, celebrate your successes. uh, I also sought feedback from my close colleagues in my previous field and worked with established coaches from abroad in my field. So, this is important, okay? I firmly believe that everyone needs a coach. And just because I am a coach, that does not mean that I don't need a coach. So, when I started my journey, and now, of course, I'm successful, so I have cash flows in my business which I can invest in my own development. But when I started 3.5 years ago, it was all negative cash flow. So it was a very big investment for me. Number one, I was doing certifications from the best institutes, which anyway entailed a certain investment. Second, I also decided to invest in a coach, and that too with a coach from abroad. At that time, somebody else probably would have told me that you are being foolhardy. And come to think of that, I think my husband did tell me that. But this is an investment that has really paid off. My coach's positive reinforcement, constructive criticism during the early days helped me improve and feel more confident. And to this day, I continue working with coaches and different coaches, because, again, if you stick with the same person for long, in some way, you are again working in your comfort zone. But I make sure that apart from the certifications and education that I'm investing in myself, I also work with other coaches so that I know what the best practices are. And they have this investment is in myself has always helped me to improve and feel more confident. Additionally, I also try to do some physical activity. So, despite my schedule and all, I make it a point that I spend 20 to 30 minutes every day doing some exercise. Very recently, since last month, I started playing badminton every evening with my husband. So, it kills two birds with one stone. Once, it helps me get fitter. Second, I also spend more time with my husband than I would have otherwise. So it's a win-win. So these are some of the things that will help you to manage that stress, maintain a positive outlook, which helps you to grow that confidence.
Those are great strategies. For me, building confidence involved taking on small projects and gradually increasing the complexity as I became more comfortable. Positive feedbacks from clients was also like incredibly encouraging for me.
Oh, that's great. I mean, positive feedback always helps, isn't it? And even though you may know, so for example, you may know, hey, I'm very good at, let's say, Asana, and I know that you're very good in Asana. I hadn't even I heard of this tool, but now I have started becoming better at Asana after you started working with me. But having said that, we may know we are good at certain things, but when you hear it from a third party, it always gives you that additional boost, which was not there, isn't it?
Exactly, Smita. So, Smita, can you share a story of a client who overcame fear and built confidence during their career growth?
Okay. There are, fortunately, there are a lot of stories here, because career transition is one of my core areas in which I coach my clients. So, okay. One of my clients was transitioning from a line role where she had been till then to a career in corporate training. And as is the case with any transition, she was initially overwhelmed by self doubt and fear of the unknown. So during our coaching sessions, we worked together to create a detailed transition plan which had clear milestones and also the interim small steps which will let her know that she is on the right track. This roadmap also included the additional training and small projects that she could take up in her existing organization itself to build her experience. She also sought support from her family. So, because she was already doing a full time demanding job, she had a small child, and embarking on a pivot also meant she had to spend some additional time in taking steps to work on that plan. So she sought support from her family, and I remember for 3-4 months she didn't cook at all. So they till then she was cooking, but because she hired some help to help her cook, that saved time for her, and she utilized that additional time to pursue whatever needed to be done for her career pivot. Over time, she gained confidence and successfully landed a corporate training position in her existing organization itself. So she didn't even have to change organizations. And her journey is a testament to the power of preparation, support, and a positive mindset.
That's an inspiring story, Smita. And I also know that you have helped so many people create such inspiring stories.
That is one of the, I would say, benefits of working in a profession where I am. It is giving me avenue to help people, to empower people, and that's my motto in life: empower people to achieve their best version. And I'm fortunate and grateful that people are continuing to repose their trust in me.
I think your journey should go on as the same length.
Mm. Amen to that.
Smita, any final thoughts for our viewers on overcoming fear and building confidence in their career pivot?
Remember that fear and self doubt are normal parts of any significant change. The key is to not let them paralyze you. Prepare thoroughly, take small steps, and seek support. Believe in your abilities and stay committed to your goals. With the right mindset and strategies, you can overcome any obstacle and succeed in your new career. So, I have done it. Shruti has done it. And we are also humans like you. So, if we can do it, so can you.
Thank you, Smita, for these wonderful insights. In the next episode, which will also be our final episode, we'll discuss building a successful career change mindset. Thank you to our audience for joining us today. If you have any questions or thoughts, please leave them in the comments. See you next time.
Thank you, Shruti.